What's up, fellas? It's your boy Schema back with another episode for the Dynasty. We're here to talk about the top pass defensive kings of season 2020 for the Dynasty. It was a great season for a lot of guys, roller coaster ride when it comes to pass defense, but we're here to talk about the top 10 pass defensive kings. Coming in at number 10, it was the San Diego Chargers led by King Vitamin. But you know who ran the show for real. It was Joey Bosa, had 34.5 sacks. Duran James forced 10 fumbles, 4 INTs. We got King Vitamin on the show today. Hey, King Vitamin, what makes sure Chargers defense a top 10?
Man, pretty much the main two guys you just named, Duran James. He's known to get like forced fumble or two every game, which gives us an extra 2 to 3 possessions a game, which helps out. Then you got Joey Bosa coming in with those sacks, putting pressure on the quarterback, making them make bad throws. And you got guys like Desmond King who will pick it off. And we had Adderley, the free safety who we just traded to the Jaguars that we couldn't afford to repay. But, you got guys like that, man, that step up and put pressure on the offensive teams and allow us to get a lot of turnovers, man. And that's what put us in the top 10 last year for the DML season.
Right. I feel you on that. But what makes it more dramatic is you play KP twice a year. You play Oakland twice a year. They love to sling the rock. They love to throw the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. That will have to be a highlight of your season as well. Anything you want to elaborate on a little bit more?
Yeah, man, playing those two teams, man, Antonio Brown was a heck to deal with for the Raiders. And then you look at the Chiefs with Tyreek Hill and Hardman, man, and John Ross. It was like a battle trying to keep up with those guys. So we tried to play aggressive, man, and play over the top, make sure they couldn't get behind us, and that generated a lot of coverage sacks for us, man. So definitely the way we got to play against those two teams, man, stay ahead of the curve with those speedy guys, man, and just allow our defensive front to get to the quarterback.
Oh, yeah, I feel you, man. I seen you take out some, you played me. Man, just took Julio away, so I have a lot of respect for your pass defense. All right, fellas, that's number 10. Congratulations. Shoulders got some love. Moving on to number 9, no matter what, even if the offense ain't good, he always shows up on the defensive side of the ball. Number 9, it's the Atlanta Falcons ran by Nasty Noob. Deion Jones, he's roaming around the field waiting on you to make mistakes, had 3 INTs and 3 touchdowns. So if he picks it off, he's off to the races. He also had McKinley, who I think needs to step up a little bit more. 14.5 sacks. That's not too bad. But, we got a division of 4 in the chat. We got C-Rod. What's going on, man?
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on? What is this just a fluke, or does Deion really play good defense year in and year out?
Deion does play good defense, man. He builds his team to where he can get pressure and force you to make bad decisions. He has a team that has a secondary that is aging, but they still produce plays. His safeties, I believe, are both superstar or X factors, so they put a lot of pressure when you're throwing the ball. And then he is slowly building a pass rush defense with McKinley and I believe Jared Grady. Is his name?
Yeah.
They're a good force on the front line, and even this year he drafted a really good defense end that's going to be a great pass rusher, we're presuming. So yeah, man, he knows how to build a team, man. So it's not a fluke, but look forward to playing that chess match with him while we're during the division games. Yeah.
No, I agree with that. Coming, you got some heavy hitters. You got Mike Evans had to worry about. Mike Thomas was still sitting on the Saints. Some explosive guys in that division. You can also pass the ball to Kamari, and you can.
Yeah, man. It's the worst division in the league, so we don't expect nothing out of this. So don't even listen to this part of the segment. Fast forward to about the 4-minute mark of this show, so y'all have to worry about the bum division of the league. Proceed, sir.
All right. That's it for number 9. Congratulations, Deion. Hey, man, a lot of respect for you. You always seem to be in the top on the defensive side of the ball when I look at your stats. Keep it up, man. Good luck heading over to high stakes. Coming at number 8, it's the pesky Jets, led by C.J. Mosley. C.J. Mosley had 10.5 sacks, 6 forced fumbles. Kyle Fuller had 7 INTs, 19 pass deflects. I like watching C.J. Moses. He plays great coverage. When you play in the division with Tone, he likes to pass the ball around. You know, the ALC got a lot of heavy passes. Added five, I had to face him. He passed the ball real well. It's a lot of guys on this side can pass the ball. You got the Steelers. I like KP passing game. Chargers passing game not bad at all. But I play tight twice a year. Is my pass defense real, man, or is it fake?
You want me to tell the truth, or you want me to lie?
Tight.
Speak your feelings,
Call it
dog.
tight motherfucking work. Tight motherfucking work. I want to hear from tight motherfucking
Yeah,
work.
you can
No,
talk about
no,
other games, your game, whatever.
nah, nah, tight MF and work ain't here today, C Rob. So take that somewhere else, man. But but nah, your defense straight, man. Yeah, you good at trading for guys to help out, and you had that guy Collins that would just run around making plays. And yeah, your defense, it was hard to pass on you, but it's easy to have a top 10 pass defense when you play me 2 times a year because I can't throw that ball. I'd be lucky to get
So
125
he
yards
say.
passing.
So he say.
So, but yeah, it was a headache playing against some Jets, man, trying to generate some offense. But I got lucky and I got a couple balls against you, but that wasn't the norm. And you shut down everybody else. And then went to the playoffs. So yeah, can the Jets maintain that? That's the question. You had a lot of old pieces that's gonna start aging out. Yeah, I think that defense gonna fall. So I think last year they was good, but I think they gonna start declining soon.
Okay, good point. That's probably why it may be very important to keep Jamal Adams around. Don't forget we got to talk about him next. Because he was an Eagle. Fletcher Cox, we added him, so hopefully the pass defense don't fall apart too much. We do need to get a young safety going. I told you about Raymond Styles. He showed me some on the field, so we're gonna ride with that for now. But yeah, we take pride in pass defense, but I'm sure this other guy does too. Coming in at number 7, it's your boy Westside Pablo, who had Fletcher Cox last year. Fletcher Cox dominated the line of scrimmage year in and year out. 38.5 sacks. He got a young safety named Cross. He had 8 INTs. And then you can't forget about Sweat. He had 15.5 sacks. So he's doing his thing over there. The way Expert like to pass the ball over and over again, that's pretty good. When you got Amari Cooper to worry about, Expert plays good pass defense as well. So he keeps the ball in his hand. So I'm just going to elaborate on him, a little bit. I think Westside Pablo is a real defensive player. You got corners in the backfield. Ronald Darby holds it down. It's pretty good set. Um, Anybody play the Eagles this year to elaborate on his pass defense a little bit more?
Nah, I haven't
I
seen him.
did.
He's
I
great.
hadn't played him,
Okay, yeah. But I see him play
with
expert.
him,
It was 21-14 at one point. So he definitely deserves to be here, especially with a guy like Fletcher Cox. I think he can
well,
maintain going into this season here, 2022, all the way to high stakes. So I look for him to be there again.
well,
Okay.
the loss of a Fletcher Cox is still to tell whether or not he really deserves to be up there. Right now, he's at about 5 wins. So if he's generating pass rush this year without Fletcher Cox, then he rightfully deserves to be there. So
Yeah. He
we'll look
picked
at
up
that
Amos
later
too.
on.
Don't forget about Amos.
Man, he
Yeah.
got that DM Barnett
Yeah.
out of
You know,
Tennessee. That's nice. So I think he can take over what Fletcher Cox
I
lost.
like Sidney too. I like the way Sidney plays too. He's not that easy to get open on either.
Right.
Just make a few more plays as he becomes more of a veteran, he'll be straight. All right. Moving on next. Everybody know Bus. He takes pride in defense. So we'll talk about that a little ahead of that. And as we go on in the show about sacks or whatever. Everybody knows Khalil Mack, but
Hmm.
we got a division of four we got to talk about first. His name is Tone Dog, led by Stephon Gilmore, who had 9 picks. Tight play this guy quite a bit. Now me, I would say Tone needs to tighten up on pass defense, but Gilmore does create a headache and make you go other places. Somebody else needs to step up on this defense so it can stay a top 10 defense. What do you think about that, Tyke? You think that Gilmore's enough? Who needs to step up and make sure that this is a steady defense come high stakes time? Gilmore might be on his way out the door, so who can he lean on as well?
Yeah, he need to start making some trades and doing something because that defense falling apart since season one. You got
Hmm.
Gilmore. Gilmore is getting older, and he got a couple other guys out there that's not quite as good as he had when out the box. So hey, Tone Dog need to step it up a little bit.
Last
You
time I
know what I
talked to
mean?
Tone, he said
And
my guys are running free. So you're right. Tone dog pass, tone dog pass defense.
I,
Might be a fluke, but we're gonna see. It
yeah,
might be a
I
fluke.
think I think he needs to build his front seven. I think if he gets his at least his front interior guys, his D linemen and a couple of those linebackers up, he'll do good because I know he has a pretty good defensive end and these defensive tackle that are pretty young. That if he develops them and they get a good pass rusher, man, he might alleviate the loss of the corner that he might be losing.
Right,
yeah,
right.
We gotta
I
take
mean,
care of
he
that.
does have Jonathan Jones. He's good, but come on, you can't. And then you
need
got
more than
Crossing.
that.
They can't. They're not gonna hold the big dogs down. Those guys are slot corners.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I heard it through the grapevine, boy. Tone, you can come and get most for like 4 first round picks.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
That,
Hey, that you need somebody like that to help out that pass defense. If you don't got it,
that's
man,
all. That's all.
you know
Man,
what
let
I'm
me check
saying?
let me check my wallet real quick. Let me check my wallet
Hey,
real quick.
boy, hey. See, his pass defense is always gonna be up there because, like I said, he got to play them Dolphins 2 times a year. You know, we get 125 yards passing, we doing good. Okay.
That's that's if Rice Jr. don't go off in the game.
Nah, Rice Jr.
Jerry Rice
Rice.
Jr. Jr.
Hey, second half of the season, man, Rice putting up the cleats, man. He going back to run blocking, man. We
Yeah, he used to hang
hey.
out with Vic Damone Jr. I remember.
But I will say one thing too. Sometimes your style of offense make your pass defense better than what it is. At
Yeah,
number wise. Tone will control the ball, get about 3 or 4 first downs on one drive. So we'll see if this is a fluke. We'll see from years to come. Can Tone come back to the top 10 as far as pass defense?
oh, he gonna
I'm
be
gonna
in the
vote
top
yes.
10 this
I'm not
season.
sure about 2022, but from between now and high stakes, I think you'll see Tone name again.
Don't count my dog out, man. He gonna be in there, man. Happy
He'll be there
birthday out to my boy
because
Tone.
he
Happy
gave the
birthday
Giants
to
the blues.
my boy Tight Work.
Come on, dog.
Tone
Why
will
you
be
want to
there.
embarrass me like that, dog?
Tone will be there.
Hey, that's supposed to be private.
Man, please, man. Let the world know, man. It's
See,
beautiful,
see if I
man.
see if I add you on my
Ce-
Facebook again.
Celebrate
Yeah,
life, man.
I,
Yeah, like I called you out by your government or something, man. Come
no,
on.
but you
Come on,
talking about my
Perry.
birthday, man. That make it easy to find me. You Google tight work and then you put my birthday in there. They be like, oh, I know that motherfucker. Let me go get him. He beat me in Madden too. Yep, he
My
about to
bad.
get this.
Happy belated.
There you
Yeah,
go,
happy
man. We
belated
cool.
birthday, man.
All right,
Since it ain't
appreciate it,
your
fellas.
birthday.
Appreciate it.
All right. Coming in at number 5, we know this guy's a strong defensive player. Um, Defense always shows up even when he doesn't throw the ball well. I mean, he throws the ball better than people think. Actually, run the ball
Right.
better than people think, which is a good reason why he's one of the top defenses too. He runs the ball well, and that's the best friend to a defense. It was led by Khalil Mack with 23.5 sacks. Jackson, known as Eddie Jackson, had 9 INTs and 18 pass deflects. Um, this guy hangs around. He's on our schedule today for us the AFC East. Um, man, Buzz is also getting younger. He's getting rid of guys. He picked up Cashman. That was a big part of his defense. Why is Buzz able to maintain, a top 10 defensive status?
Khalil Mack, you said it.
Yeah, all day.
Khalil Mack.
All day.
Hey,
I don't even know why you asked that. Khalil Mack.
he
Man,
already got 23 and a half sacks, and then you sent that
Yeah.
old fast white boy over there. Linebacker for him. Shoot.
hey,
Yeah,
I
I
got
think he
Roquan
had
Smith,
like,
so I ain't got no complaints.
oh yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Mac had like 4 sacks just the last game, man. So he always put up like 4+ sacks or something. It's crazy, man.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
and he ain't slowing down for 2022 either.
Oh, he done picked it up.
Who?
He ended last
Who?
season with 23 and a half, and right now, before his bye week, he got 23 and a half.
Yeah.
And when you play
Not.
Ambrose, I mean, he is a run first guy, but his passing game ain't too shabby. I think, but see, it don't matter what division Bus is in. Even though he's not in the division with the three greatest passers, but it don't matter. He's up to all challenges.
Right.
And they lose Kyle Fuller, you know, and
No,
still maintain a great pass defense. That's impressive.
yeah,
All
night.
right, moving on to the next. At number four, it's the pesky Cleveland Browns. A guy who loves to run the ball, keep the ball out of the opposing offense's hands. But when you think of the Cleveland Browns, the first name that comes to your mind is Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett had 30.5 sacks, and man, this guy Oliver could become the best safety out of the draft for us, the dynasty. I mean, you got Green Bay as well, but Oliver had 7 picks last season, and he is a staple of Cleveland's defense. When you got guys like Ward and Greedy, I mean, can you guys tell me how do you game plan for a great defense like this?
Man, well, I'm in the same conference, man, the AFC, and I had to face him last year a couple times. I think once in the regular season, once in the playoffs, man. But like that defense is stacked, man. Like I said before, he got your boy Miles Garrett, who's just a force, man. He's gonna get in there whether you double team him or leave a halfback in the block. He gonna make his way back there. And then you look at his secondary, man, with Greedy Williams and Denzel
Man,
Ward and
Hmm.
Oliver. Like you said about Oliver, man, he's probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame, Dynasty Hall of Fame, man. At
yeah,
the end of this cycle, man, like no question. By the way he's playing right now, but then he brought in a savvy veteran last year, Richard Sherman, who I was like competing with him in free agency for, but I couldn't get him, man. So that just like leveled both sides of that damn defense, man. With the DBs, you couldn't really throw on them, man. So that defense is stacked.
Oh,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. And he does play on a division, you know, for people that like to throw the ball. Far as like, let's say for example, Pittsburgh, even though he runs the ball more this year, a little bit more last year, but we know that Chris Murray wants to throw first. Taz run the
Hmm.
ball with Mixon a lot more right now, but we know he wants to throw first. Now, Ross and AJ Green is gone. How in the world can Cincinnati get ready for a team like this? Because right now, Taz, and Tight Work talk a lot. What does Taz need to do on offense, to match up against the Cleveland Browns? Because I think that Pittsburgh matches up real well. HBO got Jackson, his receivers getting old. By the time high stakes come around, what do these guys need to do for their receiving crew, running backs, tight ends, or whatever, to make sure they're ready for this young, talented crew out of Cleveland?
Pray,
Oh,
Yeah,
just
hey,
pray,
yeah.
just
go
pray.
sign Bobby Boucher.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
a sleeper on the Browns defensive line is Matthew Ioannidis.
Yeah,
Because
Ah, oh
he's
yeah.
reckoning a lot of sacks regularly. The last season, the season that you're talking about, he had over 20 something sacks.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, if you got sit up there, you got Garrett on one end, and you got also his defense tackle Larry O. That's what I call him. I can't even say his last name.
oh,
Larry O. Oh, he's got three out of his four defensive linemen front that are over 80 plus 85, 87, 84 overall. So I mean, he's getting pressure regardless, who you try to double team, who you try to focus on, and then he's got a dominant secondary. So, hey, man, you better pray.
You're right
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, so this guy will be in the
Oh,
playoffs this year. Even a receiving crew like mine with Thomas, Julio Jones, and you got Robbie Anderson, we still have to call Chris Rouse to even try to get open against these guys. But moving on, at number three, that was number four. At number three, another good pass defensive guy. I had him as a candidate to be a top pass defensive coach in this league. And another safety you're gonna be talking about that has a chance to go into the Hall of Fame is Salvage. Savage is a monster. Not, had 9 picks. Clark had 24 sacks up front. People forget about Clark. Sometimes he has to remind me about Clark, but this is a guy that brings havoc, making it easy on the secondary. Um, I feel like in this division, the Vikings need to pick it up in the passing game. The Lions are improving. I know Bus can pass the ball. Do you think this defense would be too strong to overcome to try to prevent this guy from going to another Super Bowl? We'll go with C Rob on that one.
oh, the Pack. You're talking about the Packers, right?
Oh yeah, Green Bay stout.
Ah, man. I mean, that's a good user for one. So I mean,
Yeah,
he's able to sort of develop his defense to where he applies a lot of pressure without even trying, because he has young guys already boosted up at the D line, and I mean, he's got a lot of superstars on the field. So I mean, it's going to be very tough to sit up there and go up against a guy like him. You have to sit up there and really comb through some film to see what his tendencies are, and then sit up there and counteract what he likes to run on defense. So yeah, that's a tough one to match up with.
I agree. Now the safety that he picked up tight, Hayden or whatever in the draft. You think that right now this guy will even pick a safety in the draft, or will he pick a corner? He got Kevin King who can match up against the big receivers. He picked up Kruger Hill that makes the defense even more stout. I mean, it's like Christmas right now in Green Bay when it comes to defense.
Oh yeah, he got a nice team over there, but
I mean, it's a lot of snow in
it's
Green Bay, so maybe it is Christmas.
it's pass defense is his offense because he run the ball good. He had the number one rush
Mm,
offense in the league. He gets a lot of big plays, but when you get
seven
pounded
fat
in the
boys.
mouth and then you start throwing it up, and he got some ball hawks in the secondary. He shouldn't have to draft no DBs for the rest of the cycle.
Ever.
How stocky, but when
He's
you can run the
done.
ball like he is, your pass defense always gonna be in the top 10.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Hell, everybody's standing on stars over there.
Good job, man. Like I said, I had you as a candidate to be number one. You got the number three. Good job. Moving on to number two. I can elaborate on the Cowboys myself. On y'all, making changes in real life. Jason Garrett, I think it was a bad move to get rid of him, but that's just my opinion. You know,
That's the best thing since sliced bread, man. I'm so glad
hey, the number one top offense in football, but you know what? That defense went to sleep. But when you got expert on the sticks, that defense never goes to sleep. To me, the
You ain't
most
lying.
frustrating defensive guy to go against up to this point, Jalen Smith. 25 INTs is just ridiculous. That division needs to be more cautious. People around the league need to be more cautious. It
Yeah.
ain't the players that they got. I don't. I mean, They don't have the best receivers in that league because you do have Byron Jones with 7 INTs. DeMarcus Lawrence had 29 sacks. That's a lot to worry about. We're not even talking about Van Der Esch. I mean,
Yeah.
this team can go a long ways, but we know the man in the middle, Jalen Smith with 25 picks, is the guy you need to watch out for. I see film on this
Definitely.
team. You guys giving this guy's Christmas gift. You're not even throwing deep. Right now, I wouldn't even go nowhere near Jalen Smith. I work on my deep routes because, I mean, this guy's the truth. He runs the ball well with Elliott. I mean, he
Yeah,
has a
he's
nice
very
passing
fast.
game. O line is falling apart, but who cares when you play defense like that? When you got, Jalen Smith scoring touchdowns. So,
God damn.
is this the guy to beat in the NFC? Or, I mean, we know it's not a fluke. He's in the top for his pass defense every year.
Hey
Um,
man, he's
whew,
tough.
man,
He's
the
tough.
best user skill
And
at middle line, one of the top five user skills in middle linebacker. The reason I say that because the guy we're gonna talk about next, he plays it well. We know KP can play the middle linebacker well, but he plays too fast in Kansas City in order to be a top 10 defense. Sweets can play the middle linebacker, but if there's one middle linebacker I'm scared of and I'm losing sleep over, it's Jalen Smith.
yeah,
Nothing against
J-
Baker and McMillan in Miami, but tight work. Do these guys need the game plan for this guy? Because 25 picks, is that lack of game planning in the NFC East, or this guy just that good?
It's scheme over team. You know what I'm saying? He got a nice scheme that's giving everybody fits right now. Nobody seem to figured it out, and they throwing it up because they pressure. They don't want to get sacked because he's sending heat at you. So I think he took a page out of
Demar.
Vitamin book the first season
Yeah,
because
my,
Vitamin was sending them dogs at you,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and he guys throwing it up, man. I'll tell you, when you look at the Cowboys, it looked like they got Bobby Boucher over there. Because
Yeah, they
quarterbacks
got
do not
Bob.
want that ball. They just
Uh,
throwing it up. You might as well just take a knee
Because if
yeah.
you
and
ask
then hope
me,
he turn the ball over.
Don't
if,
Red Bull you them.
if you ask
He
me,
got
go ahead.
no, yeah. Actually, he got skills. He got skills on the sticks. He stick skills are real good. But when he's sending that pressure at you, man, you throwing it up and he can run around with the attributes that Jalen Smith got. It gives everybody fits. And you said just
Yeah,
throw it deep. He got safeties and corners that can cover also.
He
So it's
does.
not it's not too many not too many places you can throw and feel safe.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
he definitely has a front, a defensive line front that sits up there and can put pressure on you, and then he can
Yeah.
sit up there and have Jalen Smith, mop up everything else that comes out
God, I
on the
see what you
field. So,
did there, Mop, huh?
shut, shut your ass up.
What's amazing about him, he plays fast just like the rest of the guys, like KP. He plays fast like Sweets, and still can hold his opponents down.
Right.
You know, so to me, when you play fast like that, you should be like number 8 defense or something like that. Being number 2 and play fast like Expert does, that's truly amazing. Good job, man. Good luck to your Cowboys. Moving on to number 1, it's no shock to nobody. He is Mr. Defense once again. We talk about the Dolphins, led by tight work. Wilkins,
Oh,
a man amongst boys. How you have 74 speed and get 39.5 sacks coaching? Man, this man is the man amongst boys. And when you get pressure by him, you also got Howard, who can cover any receiver in the league, who had 13 interceptions. I play this guy twice a year. I got one of the best receiving crews, and I'm still always looking to stay away from Howard. That's a shame. You got Julio Jones, you got Michael Thomas, and you got Robbie Anderson, and you still fear throwing to this guy. Tight work. What do you do to game plan and stop guys all the time, man? Well, I mean, how you get it done, man? We didn't even say McMillan's name. McMillan, Jerome Baker making plays, Fitzpatrick making plays, but the 39 sacks by Wilkins and 13 picks by Howard, it's truly impressive.
Um, I feel kind of disrespected because you talk about Hall of Famers, potential Hall of Famers on other teams, and you didn't say nothing about Reedy. You know
Oh
what I'm
man, my
saying?
bad, man.
My boy Reedy been
Reedy got a
balling.
shot.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, get Reedy a little bit of respect. Nah,
Reedy, yeah, man. I gotta give him
I
respect.
I got I got lucky, man, because everything revolves around Wilkins. Wilkins is right now in this game the way that it's set up. This cycle is unblockable. God, I don't have to do nothing. I just got to stand in the middle of the field and hope you don't throw it quick to my linebackers. And then guys avoid trying to throw it to me, and they throw it at my corners. My corners are legit, but when you got somebody like Wilkins, man, it's easy.
Yeah, I agree. I watch you play Tone, who makes a lot of safe passes. I know he's building his quarterback up, but it just seems like to me, when you turn the juice up, people can't pass the ball no more. It's just like they'll come in and hit you with a few passes, and when you turn the juice on, man, it's like, man, they start going to Twitter, doing out tweets talking about, can you guys play for 48 minutes, or either can you play a whole game? Can you play for 60
I
minutes?
forgot about that.
Golly, you made the Patriots want to cut half of his team. Can you guys give me a full game? Can you play for 4 quarters? You
Hey,
know?
don't do my dog like
hey,
that. Don't do my dog like that. Chill out, bro.
hey,
Chill, chill.
hey, hey, Wilkins made dudes Bobby Buscemi, man. They just took a knee on offense, like, man, let's get this over with, man. I'm telling you,
Yeah,
it's Wilkins, man.
we played about 3 games ago, man. We couldn't get nothing going, man. That defensive front, man, was back in my backfield the whole damn game. I'm like, I wasn't blocking nobody, man. I'm like, this motherfucker cheating me, man. What's going on here? So, man, we gonna
Man,
be ready next time, though. Tight. We're gonna play a little bit more aggressive
Uh,
next time. But yeah, that
all right.
defense ready, man. Straight up.
Yeah,
Well, I will mention this too,
he
as
said
we
he about
get.
to mop you tight.
That's still hilarious to this day.
Yeah,
hey,
we
low.
coming. We coming. We coming.
All right, man. I know you're gonna be there, man. But yeah, right now I'm blessed, man.
Yeah, we coming.
Hey, watch
I
out for
made
Fuller
it.
too, man. That defense loaded.
Yeah, I
It
made
is
a couple
loaded.
trades. I got secondary. I got fast linebackers. I got everything that you need in Madden to have a good pass defense. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? When Wilkins stopped making sacks and getting pressures, yeah, y'all to see how bad I am in this game. But right
And you
now,
got
I'm gonna live the dream.
and you gotta get
Yes,
it. You gotta
sir.
get half of the credit to Balaj for running the ball. You got
Yeah,
Dukes
yeah,
running,
definitely.
keep the ball out of the opponent's
Uh-oh,
hands.
About
uh-oh.
him.
Listen up, listen up, listen up, listen up.
Rice,
And when people
Rice
start
coming up on
shifting, that's
third
when you
down.
listen.
Rice done became the third down king in the AFC East anyway. The third down
Not
Who's
king.
Jerry
Rice,
Rice
man?
Jr.
Oh, you talking about the
What,
grandson?
talking about beans and rice?
Jerry Rice's grandson? Oh
Red
yeah,
beans
yeah.
and rice?
Huh.
No, man. But yeah, but large is a big key to my pass defense because I can run and get first downs, man. I don't even be on defense that long. You look at the time of possession, you know what I'm saying? I don't do nothing. But
But
live the
again,
dream, man.
I see a lot of guys returning to this after the 2022 season. Again, we're gonna give you a roundup. Number 10 was the Chargers. Number 9 was the Falcons. Number 8 was the Jets. Number 7 was the Eagles. Number 6 was the Patriots. Number 7, actually number not number 7. I think 6 was the Patriots. Number 5 was the Bears. Actually, yeah, number 5 was the Bears.
Yeah.
Number 4 was Miles Garrett with the Browns. Number 3 was the Packers. Number 2 was the Cowboys. Number 1 was the Dolphins. Now keep in
Yeah.
mind the
Praise me.
NFC North, NFC East, and the AFC East really represented. Three guys out the AFC East. That's special. So hopefully Buffalo can get on this list. Um, and you got the Cowboys and the Eagles out of the East. I see under. I see him getting on this list one of these days. And C Rob as well. Hopefully he can join the Falcons.
Best
Anything else?
believe
Any more takes on what y'all want to elaborate on?
Hey, like you said, man, three teams at the AFC East. It's easy when you play me, man, because I can't throw the ball, so your pass defense always gonna look good.
But I've seen Tone. I've seen Tone play some strong games, man. Man, I'm
Oh yeah.
telling you, I've seen him play some strong pass defensive game. Had the Giants rattled. He beat the Giants, I think, like 21-3. He was satisfied. He was playing such good pass defense. He was sitting on the ball, waiting on the Giants to score.
you.
He like, man, you know what? I ain't doing nothing. I'm gonna run the ball, throw short until you strike a touchdown. That's defense.
Yep.
That's defense.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Dude, play them Chargers. Chargers like that too, man.
Oh yeah. I can't even get time
Yeah.
with Bosa coming at my neck, bro. 31-0 in the playoffs over the Jets. That was impressive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That defense done blew me out a couple times too.
All right, give a special thanks to C Rob. Give a special thanks to
Hey, man.
King Vitamin.
Before we go, I gotta say this, man. We over here in the NFC South, just being bums and all. We looking to put two teams in the playoffs. So just so everybody know, this bum ass division is putting two teams in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
That's the boy.
Speaking of the
Well,
South,
I
Mariza was
know
number
Vitamin got
13. He
something to
fell
say.
down.
Yeah, I think we should keep that in mind next time we vote for the worst to the best division, man. NFC South putting two teams in, man. They can't be at the bottom, man. So,
Nah. We bums. Well, we putting two in. Yeah, go ahead and go. Carry on.
But yeah, special shout out to Tight Work. Thanks y'all for making this such a great video. We'll be looking forward to doing this again in the future. Hopefully, come up with some new graphics too. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty creative, but yeah, shout out to the league. We out.